Oh. Oh. Right. Hi Tracy. Oh, can you hear me? Hopefully. I've had to shift me. For some reason, my iPad will only video now when it's vertical and not horizontal. When I go live, it does. When I do it any other time, it's fine. So I'm hoping you can hear me. Oh, good. I want to try not to have my phone for keeping up with the messages. So if we get any questions, can you just make a note of them and let me know when I've finished doing what I'm sewing, and then we'll answer them all at the end, if that's okay with you. I'll come on a bit early, so I just wanted to make sure things were working okay. And other than the thanks Trace, other than the orientation of me iPad, which for some reason decided last times that it just was going to go vertical and not horizontal. Don't know why. I have no idea why. But at least I can hopefully turn it so that you can see the machine. So we'll just give it a few more minutes and for a few more people to come in. So I don't know if you saw me video. We're going to make a fabric book which has got pages in, and it'll make it like a, once it's all filled out, like a box. You're fine. You're welcome, my love. So this is what I've started today. This is the first prompt, which is gift. So I've still got a lot of hand sewing on it. I did do some focus, go on, focus. I'm not quite sure if you can quite pick up. I did machine stitch those that look like snowflakes around the edge, and this fabric that's the parcel. Hi Melissa. I've had to zigzag on and hold down because it was just shredding when I was trying to hand stitch it. So that's me bit of hand sewing for tonight, is to sew down all my little bits on my page for my first page. So just see how many more come in. Say we're starting a bit early, so give it a few minutes and then we'll give it a go. So this is a sew along Stitch the Season 2023 with Daniela Mellon. I have some of that colourful shiny snowflake fabric. Oh, have you? We are live this Friday, Brenda. Yeah, sorry about last week. I was just had to visit somebody that's quite sick My best friend's quite sick, so we are live, yeah. Yeah, live and kicking. Yeah. Hope you're well, Brenda. Yeah, so this is my fabric book, which I'm stitching on, and there's all the pages in it. So once it's all filled up, it's going to be quite bulky. So it'll have a good 2-inch section there that I could add 8 more pages if I wanted to. So that's the plan today. Okay. Now, in the description box is Daniela's prompt for the materials and the cutting instructions and the first hint, which is that one I've just done. No, not a premiere. I am live. So, for the outside of the book, I've used this. I mean, you can actually get it out of a fat quarter. It's you cut it at 10 inches by 21.5 inches. I did find when I cut mine from a fat quarter, whether this fat quarter was a bit short, I did have to add a little extra, but there was enough of the fabric to add it on. So the outside of the book finished is 19.5 by 8. This is all in inches. I don't do metric. I'm the old school. So you also need some batting or felt, or I've used just some thick tweedy type fabric for my batting. So you can use anything you like. Hi, Jen. So yeah, this is the book, Jen, that we're making, and so your batting or your fabric that I've used, Jen will recognise that fabric. You need to cut 2 pieces 8 by 6. Yeah, they came in a bag of stuff. Could have been from Jen, or it could have been from Susie Q Makes. I'm not sure which one they came with. So you need 2 pieces 6 by 8 of the batting, 2 pieces 8 by 2, 1 piece 8 by 3. Okay. Then you need, in your fabric that you're doing your lining, you need 2 pieces that are 8 by 6, but you cut it at 10 by 8 because you want some to fold under. Then you need the same with the 2 by 8 for the 2 spines, and again they're cut at 2 by 8, but you need to cut it at 10 by 4. And then sorry, my iron was still on, it was beeping at me. So, and then you need 1 piece that is like your batting 8 by 3, but you cut it at, hi Colleen, you cut it at 10 by 5. Okay, so that's the bit that wraps over. So for your pages, which are your raw pages that you're sewing in to make your book, which are these. I've used calico. You need to cut them at 14 by 10. Hi Laurie, did you come in? I missed her, sorry. Hi Laurie. You need to come in at, you cut them at 14 by 10 because you fold them down so that they are going to be 8 by 12 when you've cut them, folded them, sorry. So that's your pages for you that you're going to sew into. Now, you can either, like me, sew onto a piece of fabric first and then place it in, and if you do, you want fabric plain fabric that you can use for your pages, which are going to be 10 by 8 because you're going to fold the edges under, so that makes the same size page, which will be 8 by 6 when you folded them under. You can, of course, always just sew straight onto the calico and sew your pieces onto the calico. Okay, so I think we've covered those bits, but if just go back and look at Daniela's post if need be. So this is the next one. So this piece started out at 21 and a half by 10, and I folded the edges in, right, and I've had to add, as you can see, I've had to sew an extra piece on just to make sure that I'd got the distance, because I think the fat quarter was just slightly short, but you're not going to see that seam because it's on a seam. Thanks for putting the links in, Melissa. So you're going to fold your edges in and iron them in so that your piece is finally finished folding at 19.5 by 8. So you've got 19.5 across the top and 8 on the short piece. Then you can use an ordinary pen or a heat erasable pen because it's not going to be seen. You're going to mark in 6 inches, and can you see me line? Draw a line. Then move along 2 inches, add a line, move along 6 inches, wherever my 6 inches is, up there, and draw a line, and then 2 inches, and then you've got which is there, and you've got the 3 inches at the end. So that's going to fold round. You're going to do exactly the same with your lining pieces. So there's your lining piece, and I've put my felt into the inside ready. So you're going to start with the piece that is where it's 3 inches. You're going to take your 3-inch lining piece. Now I've actually already sewn just a piece of elastic into that just to secure it, and you're going to pin those in place, and then you're just going to straight stitch all the way around that piece. Thanks for the links. So just pin this one in place for a minute before I turn you around. Okay, now as you can, Melissa's on the ball today, she is. As you can see, my line there, and this piece is just going up to that, butting up to that line. Brilliant, thank you. Yes, it's all there. I put them all in earlier. So let's put this under the machine for a minute. I'm just going to sew, put my teeth back in, just close to the edge. Let's see if I can turn you now so that you can see the machine. Just bear with me. Cover your eyes if you're feeling a bit sickly. Right, see that? Can you see where I'm stitching? So it is just on the edge. My needle's going in the down position and just going to stitch all the way around. When I'm going over those bits of elastic, I'm just going to go back stitch over to make sure that they're secure. I am actually putting this together slightly differently to what Daniela does, because she doesn't put her book together until right at the end. But I've actually found it easier if I do the components first, because the pages on mine are loose, and I can just sew them. Take my pin out so I don't run over it. Really don't want to sew over a pin. And you've got your line, so make sure that you keep your fabric buttoned up to your line. Take my pin out again. Don't sew the pin. I found your machine really doesn't like sewing over pins. It takes all the what do they call it? Where it makes it stitch properly. Can't think. Brain's gone dead. So there's your first bit stitched in. Now you're going to take one of your 2x8 pieces and you're going to pin that next to the one you've just done. Now I've actually put some stiffener in this one. It's some Pellon, double-sided Pellon, and it's because I thought mine didn't seem to be quite stiff enough. So we're going to pin this one in place, and then we're going to stitch this one. So save your questions until I can look at them in a bit, or get them, put them out there, and Tracy's making a note of them for me, and we'll go through them at the end. So again, you're just going to stitch close to the edge. Take your pin out before you get to it, especially if it's facing the wrong way. Ow. Just stabbed myself. And again, you've got your line to butt it up to make sure that you keep it in the right place. Just keep turning your if you've got a needle down position, use the needle down function so that when you stop you can turn without moving your pieces, and just keep it butted to that line. You can trim off all your threads afterwards, so don't worry about the threads too much. Now you're taking one of your larger pieces that's 6x4. Yeah, it's just okay, just making sure it's pinned first before I start and sew it, so that I've got it butted up to that next piece and it's in my line. Okay, then we can sew around that one. Hope the view's okay, you see it okay, what we're doing. I just thought it'd be nicer to see the actual sewing of it rather than seeing me, well, just watching my ugly mug while I'm sewing. Okay. Oh, my finger's gone funny. Couldn't let go of my pin. I know my number. Can't quite see what the chat's about, so I can read through that after. Okay, now on your neck. Oh, you silly girl! I've just realised what I've just done there. Stitch ripper's coming out. Hold on. Let me turn you around. Watch your eyes. Okay, right. What I've done is I stitched down this next line, and I didn't need to do that at that point because I need to stick my next piece of fabric underneath it. So let's just rip out some good old stitch ripper. Comes into play. Glasses on my head, I can't see what I'm doing. Just goes to show we all make mistakes, doesn't it? Okay, let's just whip up that bit with stitch rippy. has ripped out, so just get rid of some of that thread. So this next piece is the piece that you're going to sew your pages onto. So you're going to, that would be your 2" by 2". So if you mark the centre and mark, so it's like ½ an inch on either side. But if you mark your 2" lines as well, you cannot always add an extra couple of pages if you want to. So you could add another 4 pages if you wanted to. So for this one, keep your 2 bottom and top ends folded under, and then this longer end you're going to push underneath. I need to rip out a bit more there. Rip that out a bit to get it under. Right. So you're going to place you've got your pencil, your pen line where your 2" bit is. So if you place that onto your line, you can just see where your line is. Make sure that it's all straight. Let me put a couple of pins back in there to hold it in place. And I did put some of the stiffener into. Oh, hi, Laura Lynn. Right, so that's your pieces. I'm just going to sew that one back down again. Make sure that that's lined up, which it isn't. Make sure it's lined up correctly. You did sneak in and I didn't see you sneak in. I have a letter waiting to go to you, Laura Lynn. I've just got to get to the post. Hopefully you'll get it then before Christmas. So, okay, so I've pinned that in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to restitch the lines I've just unpicked, and then I'm going to sew down these. I'm not going to sew down these 3 lines. Ignore that. Just ignore that. Just going to restitch the bit I've just unpicked. I'll turn you back round again in a minute, so you can see instead of looking at my ugly mug. Take a pin out before you get to it. Okay, right, so we've got that far so far. Before we sew that next piece on, I keep getting me embroidery cottons in the way because I was sat doing some embroidery. We're going to take the pages. Now your pages, like I say, are 14, cut at 14 by 10. Okay, 14 by 10. and you fold your edges in so that they make an 8 by 12 inch piece. Okay, put two together so that your folds are on the inside. Okay, fold it in half, give it a good press to get a fold line. Okay, so you're going to do that on all of your 8 pieces of lining, so you'll have 6 pieces of lining, so that you'll have 12 pages. Okay, you're going to, where you folded, you're going to line it up. Let me hold it up so you can see. You're going to line it up onto that first line that you drew on your spine. Okay, you're going to open the pages up and you're going to sew down those pieces. So I'm going to pin it in place so that I know I've got them in the right position, so that they're on me line. Bear with while I line it up. So you're not sewing the 2 pages together, because you're going to be able to, when you do that once you've worked on them, so that you know that you've got it. Well, that wasn't very lined up, was it? Okay, line that one up to that. Pin in. Right, I'm going to turn you around again so that you can see the machine. So close your eyes if you're a bit. Okay, so we're now going to line it up, and we're just going to stitch straight down that folded seam. Back stitch forward and back at the end, just to secure it. Back stitch at the end. Okay, there's the page stitched in. So you're now going to take your next 2 pieces for your next 2 pages and line them up to the next line up, and do the same again. These ones have actually pinned the pages together, so it should be a lot easier. It should go on a lot easier, and they won't wiggle around as much. So that one there, and that one there. Okay, back stitch at the beginning and the end again. Okay, that's your second one in. So your next one's going onto the next line up. Again, just pin it on the lines you drew. Okay. Back stitch beginning and end. Stitching straight down that fold that you made. I hope you can hear me when I'm talking over my machine. Okay, so that's all 3 of your pages in. Okay, you have got room, if you do want to add any more, you've got room to add front and back. Obviously, if you want a lot more pages, then you make your spine wider. So the next piece to add is just your last piece, which is 4x4, and you're just pinning that now in place, and then you're going to stitch all the way around, and then that's the book ready to begin your sewing. So just bear with, and I'll just pin this one in place while we stitch around this, and then I can turn my camera again. Again, just make sure your page lines up with that last line on your fabric that you drew, and then, ouch, just prick myself with a pin, and stitch all the way around, just on the edge. Now, because this front and back has got a wadding or a batting or some sort of soft inner, you can embroider onto it or add whatever you want to embellish it. Okay, just switching around this last piece. Make sure your pins don't get caught up. Nearly there. Okay, let's turn the camera again. Watch your eyes, everybody. Here we go. So, I've got cotton everywhere. I'll finish off, clear up these ends afterwards. So there's the front of your book, and that's with your spine, and the back of the book, and then you've got the box bit that comes up and the flap to go over it, and you've got 12 pages in there to work on. So you've got, there's 1, and that's 2, and then when you've put your pieces on that you want to put onto those, you obviously can stitch around the 2 pages to stitch them together, and that hides all your horrible stitching or whatever stitching inside. So I hope you like that, and I'll show you mine again. So I hope you like the green, Jen. So this is mine that I'm doing. I've put a star button on the front, and there's my flap that will come over. I didn't actually put the stiffening in, and I wish I had. In fact, I might be able to slide a piece down into that bit of spine because it will give it more structure. And that's the first page of my book started. I haven't finished it, but the prompt was gift. So there's the first page that I've started. Just need to finish sewing all that. So that's that. So Tracy, what was any questions? What was any questions going? Thank you, Laura Lynn. It would, a picture book on your embroidery machine would be brilliant, because you can do your pieces on separate piece. I mean, you can make your book whatever size you want. So you just need to make sure that you adjust the spines so that they will fit. But the books can be anything, and embroidery pieces would be great. And you can do it all on the machine. I mean, like I say, I sewed my piece down. I mean, this is the back of it. I've stuck a piece of felt in because I wanted to give the parcel a bit of structure on the page. But all that backing, once I finish sewing, that will all be hidden because it will be joined to page 2. So once page 2's done, it'll all be hidden. All you won't see, all you'll see is the page. Iron on the pictures all family members and embroider names underneath. Could be duplicate books for all the kids. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. And say all the instructions for and the sizes and the measurements and everything are all in Daniela's instructions. The only thing she's not done is put the book together like I'm doing, because I prefer to work on it that way. But I mean, if you want to work on it all with all separate components, so each of your pages is separate, and then sew it all together afterwards, like you can do. But I just prefer to work on it as a book. So, was there any questions that I missed? So, hope you like the green, Jen. Was it all right? Is it all right? Trim off some of these threads. So, when to add the pages? Well, like I say, you can add them. You can add the pages last if you want to. That's what Daniela's doing. She's adding them last. But I prefer to work on mine as a book, so it's already made. The book's already made up, and I can just stitch in the pages as I'm going. And then once I've got 2, I will then join those 2 pages together. And you're just using. I mean, you don't even have to have this separate piece of fabric. You can actually just work into this calico if you want to. But it's just, I like the look of it. I thought it looked neater with a different. I mean, the calico is all right, but it's. I think that gives it a nicer looking finish. So, anything else from anybody? Yeah, because I'm doing a lot of hand embroidery in it, But if you're going to do it all on the machine, then yeah, leave the construction of adding these bits till last. You can still construct your page, your outer, but just leave these off and add them and sew them in after you've done them, because that would work just the same. But as I say, I do like the stiffness of having. I do like the feel of it having that structure in it, so it'll make it like a boxed book, and it gives you that a lot of extra room for padding out when you're adding extras into it. But as I say, you could. I mean, these are 1/2 inch, so there's like 1/2 inch between each. That's a good job, because that's how I've done it for you. So it's a good job you like this construction. So once I've trimmed all these threads up, it'll go into Jen's envelope. So there we go. That's me book done. That's book number 2 in green, ready to wing its way to Jen. So I can't help the face. I was born with it. It comes with age. It's matured with age. Yeah, so that's that. So, any other questions before we... Colin will be getting ready to drive in a minute again, I'll bet. Thank you. Yes, I'm on. I need 49 more subs to get to 1,000. I was at 951 when I came on air. So yeah, fingers crossed. Will I make it by Christmas? Yeah, Colin's had it rough, haven't you, love? Thanks, Trace. I will. It'll get there. It'll 1 minute. It'll just be. I'll just suddenly get a pop up that I've made it, and I won't even have looked, and it'll just be there. So yeah. Yep. Right. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for coming, and thanks for my wonderful mods. But it doesn't have to be handwork. You can make them and use them and do with embroidery and all sorts. Oh, I love my Canadian daughter too. Oh, maybe Christmas will be mine then. Halloween for you and Christmas for me. You're welcome, Jen. Always happy to help out. Right. Take care, everyone. See you soon.